This is how we change strings on a guitar that has a Floyd Rose. Some useful things that you're going to need before you start this process. An Allen key. This is just an Allen key that's on my little Ibanez multi-tool, but any Allen keys, as long as it's the right size, will do. This is a size 3 Allen key. I don't know if that's the universal size for Allen keys, but usually if you have a Floyd Rose guitar, it will have come with a little Allen key. Use that one. You will also need some sort of string cutting device and something to sit underneath the bridge to keep it up. I'm just going to use the butt end of this little pliers, as I have a fancy schmancy little doodah for cutting strings that doubles as an electric string winder. Just in case you're new here, my name is Barry and I teach people how to play music and how to make music their full-time career. So if you would like to learn how to restring your Floyd Rose guitar or your normal guitar, or you want to learn how to play guitar, or you want to make music your full-time thing, drop me a like and a subscribe and ring the bell to make sure that you're notified when I release more videos just like this to help you out in your musical endeavours. Let's jump over to the overhead camera so I can show you exactly how to change these strings. Alright, so here we have a really cool Jackson Warrior with a poorly broken string. This belongs to a student of mine and I'm going to help him fix it. Now, first thing we need is to make sure that we're using the correct gauge strings. So Floyd Rose guitars, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want 9s. These are just ordinary Ernie Ball Super Slinkies 9 to 42. If you don't know what you're doing, go to a guitar shop, they'll help you out. But 9 gauge strings are usually the first port to call for this type of thing. So we're going to prep the guitar, but make sure that you have 9s, right? Let's prep the guitar. We're going to take our Allen key. Like I said at the start, this is a size 3 according to this tool. I believe that is a 3mm, but anyway. Up here at the nut, we have got what is called a locking nut. So we're going to open up all of those. Simply put the Allen key in, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And this is going to release all the strings so that we can then loosen them off. Before we loosen off the strings, we want to stabilize the bridge. We do that. You can get any sort of a block, a wood block, a 9-volt battery sometimes works. Even a sock rolled up really tight is enough to stabilize it. I'm going to stick this part of this pliers in. So we just simply push it down and stick something in there so that the bridge stays put. Now our guitar is prepped, and all we need to do now is change the strings. So, get our Allen key again. There is, probably can't see it very well, but just here is another Allen key. You'll be able to see it. Stick in there is another nut that you're going to open with your Allen key. So in there, loosen that off. Usually just one twist will do it, and you can undo it finger-wise. And that is going to unlock your broken string. Discard that, and we do the same up here. You can take these off, in fact, if you want. I'm going to take them off here now, just for the sake of easiness. And I will just take off our other broken string. Easy peasy. Now, because all our locking nuts are taken off and the bridge is stable, we can pretty much take off all of these strings, which is what I'm going to do now. I've got my handy dandy electric thingy-majiggy I got on eBay for like £7. Now all we're going to do is just snip those loose strings and get rid of them. So we're going to do the exact same thing as we did with the broken string. We're going to loosen off the Allen screws down here. Now we've got our guitar prepped and we've got our guitar completely prepped and fully unstrung. Now we're going to prep our strings. Start off with the broken one, so gauge 9. We simply just take our string out of the packaging, and what we want to do is we want to snip off the ball end, because I don't know if you can see that. We want to snip off the ball end because that is what is going to snip into the lock here, as it was. Really easy. Ooh. Snip the end and stick it right into the saddle here. Now I appreciate it's probably not the easiest to see as it's an all black guitar. However, I didn't have any Floyd Rose guitars of my own that needed to be changed, so this is the one that you're stuck with. Now I'm just screwing this in finger tight just to catch it, and I will tighten it up now with the Allen. I think used abroad in America called an Allen wrench. I don't really know who Allen was and why he knew so much about keys and wrenches, but hello Allen, if you're listening. Now that is rock solid, and then we just wind it as we would any other string, any other type of string. It's really not that difficult. The hard part is over, getting it into the slot and prepping the guitar. After that, it's fairly straightforward. At this point in the video, I'm probably just going to like either cut this out or like fast forward to me having the guitar strung up. or speed it up, like zoom. Now, as you can see, I have the guitar restrung. Now, what we do is you tune the strings up to tension, but not to full tension. As when you take the whatever it is you have locking in, that will pull the tension back on the strings. So let's see how this does. That's nearly bang on flush. I'm really happy with that. And now, all we do is we just tune up our guitar. It's as simple as that. When you're tuning your Floyd Rose guitar, it's important to note that some of the strings will be way higher than they need to be. So for example, this low E string is currently reading at an F sharp, which is, as we all know, 2 semitones higher than it will be, or it needs to be. However, as we tune up the guitar and tune up the different strings and put more tension on these other strings, less tension will happen on the low E and it'll come back down to tune. It'll all balance itself out, basically, is where I'm going with this one. Now, once it's tuned up to pitch, we need to stretch out our strings, and away we go again. Roughly up at pitch, so let's stretch them out one more time. Whoops. We're roughly in tune once more, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to snip off all these string ends before I put the locking nuts back on, because that usually releases any extra tension or any extra slack that's still left in the strings that hasn't been pulled out just yet. So now, after a bit of back and forth, we have a guitar that is just about in tune. Just about. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do I tune the guitars once the strings are locked in place? Well, down here we have what are called the fine tuners, and they are literally exactly as it says in the tin. These they don't replace these normal tuners, but when you have the strings locked in, ideally you have them locked in as close to in tune as possible, and then you just fine tune it with these. You're going to have to do a little bit of back and forth to get this in tune. Eventually you should be able to do this and it'll come back in tune. There we go. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you can get more videos just like this. And if you found this helpful, share it to someone else that you think might find it helpful as well. All the best, and I'll see you in the next one.